So, if you are watching this video, chances are you took that very important USB drive, stuck it into your computer, and well, maybe nothing happened. Or maybe it popped up, but it had no drive there. Or maybe it stayed in the drive, only has like 1 kilobit of space on it. And now you're freaking out. Well, don't fear too much. Chances are this can be fixed. It's sort of easy, yet it's going to take a little bit of research, but I'm going to try and help you out the best I can. So, to understand what happened, we need to look at how a USB drive works. You have 3 main parts. So, what we have here is, the first part is the actual memory itself. Here's a memory chip, and this is where all of your data is stored. Now, your computer can't read this chip directly at all. So, what this has on here is a controller. And this basically controls the flow of information from this memory to your computer. So your computer can talk to this chip. Then this chip gets the information and sends it to your computer via this little USB interface right here. Now, as things are being written and changed on here, some memory controllers will actually update this in the firmware. And sometimes they'll unpack the firmware and completely rewrite it. Now, should you happen to yank that USB drive out, while that's happening, well, you're going to end up with a controller that has no firmware on it, or an invalid firmware, or maybe firmware with permissions that aren't quite right. So that's why you always want to hit that eject button before you actually just yank out the USB stick. So how do we fix this? Well, first of all, you're going to want to go and open up your device manager. Now, I don't have a USB drive on my computer, but the process is the same. You want to come in and find the device. You want to right click and go to properties. And then you will go to details and then hardware IDs. And you will see VID and PID. What this stands for is vendor ID and product ID. This basically tells you who makes it and what model it is. Now you can take this information once you have the VID and PID, and you want to go to this website called flashboot.ru. You'll have to deal with some Russian, I'm sorry, but some of it is in English also. And on here, you want to go to this iFlash thing right here. Click on it, and you get this little input here, VID and PID. You want to enter those values that you got here and click on search. And that will actually pull up one of hundreds of different models and give you exactly which model you have. Now, if you can't find the VID and PID through Device Manager, you can come here, and I'll put this link in the description, and download this program called ChipEasy, which basically does it automatically. You run the program, and it will actually tell you everything you need to know about that USB controller. If it doesn't, then it might actually be very dead. Now, it is an older program, but it still works, but you might have to install it in compatibility mode. Now, after you have done this and found out what model you have, let's just pretend that we have a Phison. Okay? We'll just call it a Phison. So, here we go. So we're going to just copy this. We're looking for the Phison controller. And sometimes it actually even tells you. Here's a P2251-07. Or there's like firmware 3613, for SMIs, GOM. They're all different. We're going to take this, and we're going to, up here, come over to this section. The files. It says files. Alright, and then you will search. And here we go. Here's a program that popped up, Phison Up Tool. And this basically lets you reflash the firmware for the Phison controller. Now, you might have a different application depending on what kind of controller you have. But this application right here is the one that you can use to reflash the firmware. And they're normally pretty easy. They normally have a easy start and go type of thing. Now, you need to figure out how to use that. to do that, you're going to want to go to the forum here. And in here, you want to look for your actual device. And you should get some info on that. So let's go ahead and let's try looking for the Phison again. And here we go. Tons of info of how to do it. And then you can basically just come through and read through the forum and figure out exactly how to make this program work. And there's really good info, and it's normally very, very accurate and very new. You can see here we have from July 29th. The Alcor controllers, here's recovery on Phison controllers, there's SMI controllers. Yeah, and like I said, just read through. It will tell you exactly what to do, how to fix it. And there you go. Just be sure that you use Translate, because you will need to translate some of this stuff. Anyways, I hope this helps, and I hope it helps you bring back your flash drive. It's really not as hard as it looks. Just take a little bit of time to figure out how the program works for your specific USB drive, and you should be up and running in no time. Have a great day.